Happy New Year, and thank you for joining today's online travel presentation. It's the season to set some goals for 2021, and if you're like us, travel is topping your list. My name is Lynn, and I am pleased to be your moderator for this presentation. Before we begin, I'd like to take care of a little housekeeping. First, we will hold all questions until the end. If you have questions during the presentation, please just type them in the question box in the GoToWebinar toolbar, and we will cover them at the end of the webinar. And second, there will be 2 polling questions during the presentation, and we hope you'll participate. So let's get started. As I mentioned, I am Lynn, and I'll be your moderator, and I am pleased to introduce our presenter, Frank, one of our knowledgeable rail specialists. So now that you know us, hey Frank, now that you know us, we'd like to get to know a little more about you in our first polling question. So here we are going to launch it. And it is, what is your favorite time of year to go on vacation? So select the season that best interests you or that you feel you gravitate towards. We'll leave this poll open for about 20 seconds to let everyone select their response. All right. Well, Frank, it looks like just about all of our attendees have responded. So I'm going to close the poll, and it looks like more than half our audience is evenly split between preferring to travel in the summer and the fall. Now, I don't want to give away too much, but I know the destinations and itineraries you're going to talk about are wonderful in both of those seasons and then some. So 2021 is the year of the rail vacation. It is one of the better ways to travel safely and practice social distancing. Wide open spaces, national parks, and other off the beaten path destinations await us by train. And we can travel there independently or with a small group, setting our own pace and seeing and doing the things most important to us. Now, Vacations by Rail can take you there when you're ready to travel and help you achieve your travel goals. We are the leading rail vacation company in the United States and the trusted authority on rail with the largest collection of train vacations to destinations around the globe. The cornerstone of each itinerary is a rail journey aboard at least one of the world's iconic trains. And Vacations by Rail is a great rail journeys company backed by more than 45 years of experience in the specialty of global rail tours. We are a member of the National Tour Association, American Bus Association, and we are AARP's preferred rail provider. And in addition to unmatched vacations, we offer best-in-class customer care from your first call or email to your return from your trip. Now, without further ado, I'd like to hand things over to Frank, who can talk about some great rail vacations close to home.
Hi, everyone. This is Frank, as Lynn said. This year, everyone's itching to travel, and I can't blame them. I myself, I can't wait to get out there. There is one goal we all have for 2021: travel more. 2020 was a year of unfulfilled bucket lists, and with such positivity in the news regarding vaccines and safe travel protocols, the forecast for this year is far sunnier. And, I've been more optimistic than I've been in a long time. I can't wait to get out there. The itineraries we're going to discuss today are all relatively close to home, and that they're all in the United States. So these itineraries are available anytime you are ready to travel. They're scenic, exciting, and a wonderful way to kick off the 2021 travel season. Today we'll cover a mix of those featuring all daylight travel, on touring trains, aboard scenic or heritage railways, and a few itineraries that cover one night. 2 tops, maybe on a sleeper train, so you get to sleep on a train, some of these. And let's start with one of our more popular ones, which does include a sleeper train. This is the Grand Canyon Railways to the Rim Adventure. And let's look at the itinerary. So it's 6 days. This is independent. Begins and ends in Chicago or Los Angeles, so you can take from the east or the west. This bestseller shines a light on 2 different rail experiences. plus ample time spent at one of the natural wonders of the world, the Grand Canyon. This is independent, as I said, meaning that it is all set up for you. You don't have to do anything. You just got to sit back and enjoy. You are traveling on your own. You're not with a large group, but you're on a structured itinerary and you have time to yourself. This is a great way to see the canyon. And another great thing about this is nearly daily departures. So let's look at some images from this trip. That is the Grand Canyon Railway on the upper left that goes from Williams, Arizona into the south rim, the Grand Canyon Village there. That train's been running for well over 100 years. And then, of course, upper right, that's the start point, Chicago. I can almost see our opposites from this photo here. Below, of course, is the Grand Canyon, and then there's the Grand Canyon Bend below that very famous image. To the left is Amtrak. That is one of the observation cars. And then that is the Skyscape, that thing also known to Chicagoans as the Beam in Millennium Park in downtown Chicago. So let's look at some highlights here. There's the Grand Canyon round-trip travel aboard the Grand Canyon Railway. As I mentioned, it's a heritage railroad. It's privately owned. It carries passengers between Williams, Arizona, and the south rim of Grand Canyon National Park. It's a 54-mile railroad that was completed in 1901 and has ferried many famous passengers, from presidents to Hollywood stars. Today, the railroad services hundreds of passengers daily and operates year-round. And then while at the Grand Canyon, you'll enjoy one night at the Maswick Lodge. Maswick, it's named after a Hopi Kachina figure that is said to watch over the canyon. And also included in the price of this is a Freedom Tour. So it's an all-day tour of the canyon, so you hit some big spots and it better acquaints you with the canyon and the overlooks before having some time to set off and explore on your own. There are many, many trails that emanate in the South Rim Village here with varying degrees of difficulties. So it's a great way to relax and not be shepherded around, by a tour manager. You can do your own thing, enjoy the views, and enjoy the canyon. This is a very, as I said, popular trip. And on to another very popular trip, which also includes an overnight train. This time it's the Empire Builder. And this is Empire Builder with Glacier National Park. This park is on lots of people's bucket list. The outdoor adventures are endless here. You can do tons of stuff in the park. One of our most popular national park itineraries is this one. It's the Glacier National Park with the Empire Builder. So let's learn more. So here's an overview. Again, it's independent. It's 8 days. You could do it from the east or from the west, and you could also do round trip from Seattle or round trip from Chicago. So it's very, very flexible. And departures are nearly daily, about every 3 days. So lots and lots of options. Let's look at some images from this trip. Now, upper left, that is St. Mary's Lake. You will be staying at St. Mary's Lodge, which overlooks this lake. It's a very beautiful part of the park. That's one of the hotels included. To the right of that, of course, is Seattle. That's unmistakable. There's the entrance to Glacier National on the lower left. Now, see that little red vehicle? That is a red Jammer bus. This is a very famous tour. It's the Crown of the Continent tour. And you take this road, look to the far right. That is the Going to the Sun Road. If you've ever seen a car commercial, you've probably seen this on television. It's one of the most stunning roads in the entire world. And this is all included in the price of this package. And of course, the Bellevue, which is Glacier National right there. Look at some highlights here. Everything included is all your lodging in the park, that tour that I mentioned aboard the Red Jammer buses, and a cruise aboard a boat on St. Mary's Lake. So that's all included in the price. Again, independent. This is for someone who doesn't want to listen to someone else tell them what to do. This is, you're on your own in the park. You really just relax, sit back, and enjoy everything we've set up for you. And the way we've set this up is that you can see the most in the most economical amount of time. It's really a great overview of this splendid national park. Let's go to another one here. This is, Escorted. So, I mean, well, I'll get into that in more depth, but this is something if you want a little more guidance on the tour and you want to go deeper into the park, this is a great tour. This itinerary highlights the lodges of Glacier National Park. There are two things that make this vacation extra special. Firstly, you stay in several of Glacier National Park's historic lodges, and the fact that this is locally hosted. The travel style is perfect for people who want to venture off. You do get a lot of free time on this, so you can just explore on your own. You set your own pace, and with the benefit of a Vacations by Rail local host with them on site, this local host can assist in recommending activities or dining or answer any questions about this national park. Essentially, you have your own personal concierge while you're traveling through the park, and you get to see some beautiful stays and some beautiful properties. So here's the overview here. It's 8 days locally hosted. You can do it again from the west or the east, Chicago or Seattle. And there are the departures right there that we have. It's an 8-day tour. This is, I must say, Glacier knocked my socks off when I visited it. It's one of America's most treasured areas. Glacier National Park is brimming with natural beauty, from alpine meadows to tall, rugged mountains, each scene more stunning than the next. And you take it all in on this special tour that highlights its historic lodges. So each lodge has its own unique characteristics, from either resembling a Swiss village to the original home of the Blackfeet tribe. One thing they all have in common, though, is their comfort and integration with the surrounding park. They've been there a while. They look like they've been there a while, and they leave a small footprint. And these are all very picturesque, characteristic lodges here. You could take in mountain views in one and wildlife from the other, lake views from another, and then from St. Mary's, you take the Crown of the Continent tour. This is a great tour if you want to get a little more into the park. Here's some images here. There is Lake McDonald Lodge in the upper left. To the right of that's the Empire Builder coming from Chicago, arriving into the park there. There's Many Glacier at the bottom, and just different views of Glacier National Park here. Here are some highlights. So, as I said, historic lodge accommodations in and around Glacier National Park. You get a Swift Current lake boat cruise. You do the Going to the Sun Road aboard those red jammer buses I mentioned. Services of a local host, which I mentioned, for suggestions on day trips, excursions, activities to suit your tastes. Great trip. Let's move to the next one. So moving north, we go to the great state of Alaska. Wide open spaces, ideal for roaming through its natural spaces. This is called Deluxe Alaska Highlights. Let's look at the overview here. 8 nights. It's an independent tour. This begins and ends in Anchorage. Daily departure. This is a great way to see Alaska. I mean, from Anchorage, you take the Glacier Discovery train to the Spencer Glacier Whistle Stop, and then you take another short train right to Portage, and a second night in the Hotel Alaska, which is gorgeous, in Girdwood, Alaska. From there, you board the Coastal Classic train to Seward for 2 nights. Then the Coastal Class train back to Anchorage for 1 night. And then from Anchorage, you embark on a highlight of this tour. You get a ride on the Denali Star. This is, of course, part of the Alaska Railroad. This is their flagship train. It goes to Denali for 2 nights, and finally, the Denali Star back to Anchorage, and 1 last night at a hotel in Anchorage. Here's some images from the trip. Just look at that. I mean, that is the exit glacier in the upper left-hand corner. That would bring tears to anyone's eyes. That's just an amazing thing to see. You do get a Husky Homestead tour. You get a tour of a dog sled tour there. That's Kenai Fjords next to the dogs there. You get a cruise on the Kenai Fjords. You do like a wilderness tour there. There's Denali, if you're looking on the right. Let's see here. Looking on the right, that is Denali. Yeah. Right, let's see. Yeah, and that below that is Spencer Glacier at the bottom right. Okay, here are highlights of the tour. You get rail transportation aboard the Alaska Railroad. You travel on the Glacier Discovery train, the Coastal Classic, and the Denali Star. You visit the Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center. You take a Glacier River float trip. You take the Kenai Fjord National Park cruise. You visit Exit Glacier. Visit to the Sevi Homestead with Wilderness Dog Sled Ride and Tour, and a bus into Denali National Park. See, did I miss anything? Not to miss. Let's see, a bus tour. No, I got everything. This is really great because Denali it's a national park, of course. So once in the park, the National Park Service takes over with those buses, and they take you deep. They'll take you as far as anyone could go into this wilderness. Cars are not allowed. There are no roads. I mean, only these national park vehicles operate within the park. So you will see undisturbed nature all around you. And the train, I must say, is lovely. The Alaska Railroad, they treat you wonderfully. They serve wonderful food on board. And that's an experience in itself. So this is a great trip. Now on to something I'm very, very excited about. This is brand new. It's not only ideal for close to home getaways, but it is new, as I mentioned. It is one of the most scenic parts of the U.S. This is Rockies to the Red Rock Classic. It features a new Rocky Mountaineer route in the United States, in the Colorado Rockies. So let's look at the itinerary and the vacation overview here. 4 days, it's independent. Begins in Denver, ends in Moab. And there are daily departures basically August to October. Rocky Mountaineer is a famous train. We're very excited to be partnering with them with this. They always have operated the Canadian side of the border. They moved here to the U.S. and they're on a stretch of the U.S. that is one of the most scenic in the United States. So I'm very excited about this. This is a very famous train. If you've seen the commercials or know anything about this train, you know it's sleek train cars and first-class service. Now that same experience is coming. It's going to be here in the U.S. for the first time, and already this is selling like hotcakes. We've had a lot of inquiries about this here at the office. Let's see. This goes to the Colorado Rockies between Denver and Moab. This is a 4-day independent vacation. This trip presents the varied beauty of the West by daylight. The first stretch of the route meanders through the Rocky Mountains. You pass vast canyons, emerald forests, and you're along the Colorado River, the winding Colorado River. Halfway through, you enjoy an overnight stay in the resort town of Glenwood Springs before continuing onward through the expansive deserts and past natural archways and enchanting hoodoos until you get to Moab. Inspiring vistas surround at each turn on a leisurely journey aboard a luxury train. Here's some images here. Of course, it starts in Denver. That's the upper left-hand corner there. Ends in Moab. That's the upper right-hand corner there. Halfway point right below that. Okay, that's Glenwood Springs. There is the interior of the Rocky Mountaineer car. We don't get a lot of luxury rail here in the U.S. Now that's changing. Now that the Rocky Mountaineer is here, you will get a luxury rail experience seeing all this natural splendor of the West. By the way, lower left-hand corner, for people who need to know everything, is Mount Garfield there. So here's some highlights. All right, so this is a new USA all-daylight luxury route, as I mentioned, through the scenic Colorado Rockies. You get 2 days aboard the Rocky Mountaineer and meals served aboard the train. There are 2 classes of service on this train. The first is Silverleaf, which features travel in an expansive glass dome rail car. From the comfort of your luxury seat, this journey offers lifetime views. I mean, a lifetime of impeccable service and just memories and storytelling from these hosts that are aboard the train. Rocky Mountaineer is known for its service and the exuberance and excitement of their hosts. They're very enthusiastic. You also get regionally inspired cuisine and a front row seat to one of the most spectacular settings, not just in the U.S., but on the planet, in my opinion. The next class of service is Silverleaf Plus, by the way, I have to mention that. In that you get enhanced onboard service, which includes everything I mentioned for Silverleaf, plus exclusive access to a newly renovated lounge car. On the lounge car, it features a mixologist who will carefully craft signature cocktails. The lounge car offers additional space indoors to relax and soak in the scenery as it passes you by. as well as a small outdoor viewing area. So if you want to get a snoot full of fresh air or take a picture without a pane of glass between you and your camera, you could go outside. There's an outside viewing platform on the train. Also, you get an elevated dining experience in Silver Leaf Plus. You get an additional course per meal, and you get alcoholic beverages, premium alcoholic beverages. Okay, let's move on. This is the Colorado Rail experience. This is an escort trip. This is one of our biggest sellers, and we've been running this a long time. It's a wonderful trip. It's a favorite among our travelers, top rated. It features, and this is for train nuts. So if you know someone who really likes trains, this is a great one. It features 5 heritage railways through the Colorado Rockies. And once you've been in the Colorado Rockies, you'll see by Teddy Roosevelt once called a train trip through the Colorado Rockies a trip that bankrupts the English language, which is a quote I really, really like. Let's move on to an overview here. All right, so this is an escorted tour, which means that you'll be with a group, of course, led by a professional tour manager on this 8-day tour, which begins in Denver. We discover expanses of landscape hidden from modern traffic aboard these 5 fantastic railways, which are the Georgetown Loop Railroad, Leadville, Colorado and Southern Railroad, the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad, the Cumberland and Toltec Scenic Railroad, and the Royal Gorge Railroad. While you ride the rails, railroad experts and knowledgeable guides introduce you to the mining and railway history of the state. The journey also includes a stay at the resort town of Breckenridge, a momentous excursion to the summit of Pikes Peak by motor coach, and a visit to the awe-inspiring Garden of the Gods. This is 8 days, as you can see, and here are the departures right here. Here's some images from the tour. Now, that one on the left, that is my favorite. I must admit, 2 of these I've not taken, but I took the Royal Gorge Railroad, that's the upper left, when I was 10 years old, and it was one of the most memorable experiences of my life. It's as if I took it yesterday. So this is an amazing thing. So this is Breckenridge in the top right. Below that is the Cumberland Toltec, which I've also taken. There is the Garden of the Gods below that. This is the Durango and Silverton to the left of that. Not taking that one, but as you can see, look where it goes. You're clinging to the side of a mountain there. Spectacular views. And then on the next to that, that's the depot for the Georgetown Loop Railroad there. Here are some highlights of it. As I mentioned, all those scenic railroads there, 5 of them. You go to Pikes Peak. Now the Pikes Peak Railroad is currently under renovation, and it's about 3 years behind schedule. So we are taking people up by deluxe motor coach. So you get to go to the top of Pikes Peak. As I mentioned, Garden of Gods, a scenic drive across Ute, Trout Creek, Poncha and Wolf Creek passes, and Great Sand Dunes National Park. As I mentioned, that Georgetown Loop Railway, or sorry, the Royal Gorge Railway, unbelievable views. I like I said, I could close my eyes and I can picture myself there again, and I hope to go there soon on this. But yeah, this is an incredible trip, and as I said, for train aficionados and for anyone who likes stunning American scenery, this is a must. This is a great trip. Now, any of these trips can be upgraded in a variety of ways. Any of our independent vacations you can enhance, especially because they're independent. So they could be tailor-made to you. They could be customized. You could add excursions. You could add extra nights hotel. Or possibly just upgrade the hotels or your class of service within the itinerary. Each independent package offers different options, so please speak to either me or one of my colleagues. Just give us a call and we can work those things out for you. Many of our escorted tours can be customized as well, especially at the beginning and end of the tour with flexible start and end destinations, connecting rail, pre and post night hotel, etc. So everything could be customized a little bit. So I think that's it. I think I've talked too much, Lynn. What about you? I think it's your turn.
I think you shared some amazing itineraries. That Red Rocks to the Rockies looks stunning.
I know.
It's on my list.
Me too.
So it's time for another polling question. This one is open-ended. We want to know what destinations are next on your vacation list. So go ahead and type in your response. You can pick one or several destinations and type them into that GoToWebinar comment box. We'll keep this open for about 30 seconds to give everyone a chance to share their feedback. Okay, we're seeing some great responses come in. Several for Alaska, the Grand Canyon, and other national parks. And there's even people that are ready to dust off their passports, Frank, and head to Canada and Europe, which gives
I
me
amongst them.
no, me too. Me too. Which gives me a great segue to mention that next week's online travel presentation is going to be focused on those international getaways that we might be able to set our sights on in 2021. So if you'd like to learn more about our rail vacations in the US or destinations around the globe, you can request one of our brochures by calling toll-free 877-929-7245, or you can order a brochure online at vacationsbyrail.com. So we do have a few questions from our attendees. Frank, do you have a few minutes for some answers?
Sure, I have nowhere else to be but with you guys right here.
Fantastic. Okay, here's the first one. Can I add additional nights in my hotel?
Yes, of course, especially on independent tours. With independent tours, they're totally malleable. You could customize them to your liking if you want to. I do that every day, essentially. So yes, independent tours. Escorted tours, not as much because they are very organized and there's a tour director and you have to stay with a group. So if you stray from the group, that's kind of not a good idea. So, but you can upgrade, say if you wanted an upgrade at one of the hotels you're staying at, that can be done within the package. We can see if it can be done. All you'd have to do is call us and we inquire and see if it can be done. Certainly pre-night or post-night hotels, which I think I mentioned, can be done. And connecting rail, a lot of these, like the Empire Builder Experience, they start in Chicago. But if you're not in Chicago, let's say you're in Missouri or you're, on the East Coast or something, certainly we could find you connecting rail and get you to that start point in Chicago. So you could do rail all the way if you want.
That's great. Can I add sightseeing excursions in Glacier National Park?
You can. I mean, again, that would be another instance where you would call the call center and see if either the independent one, we could put something else in there that may not be included. We could see if it could be done. Latches of Glacier National Park, that one that has the local host, that local host is at your disposal and is a gold mine because that host could set up things for you, hikes, tours, whatever. He or she is there at your command. So yeah, while you're on that one, certainly there's a lot of free time on that one, and you could take advantage. That's why the host is there. It's for you. And so yes, you could add sightseeing excursion.
All right. Yeah, fantastic. Here's a question on the new Red Rocks to the Rockies tour. Can I extend my stay? I'm assuming in either destination.
Yeah, yes, you can. So at the beginning or end point, I mean, the hotel they use in Denver is gorgeous. And it's called the Crawford. It's right in the Denver's Union Station. It's a historic hotel. I've had the pleasure of staying there. You just simply walk out of your hotel and you board your train. It's beautiful. So if you wanted to spend time in Denver, a couple more days than them before day train, absolutely. Same thing in Moab at the end. We could always add pre and post nights.
Wonderful. Yeah, those are great destinations to extend your stay.
Mm-hmm.
Is luggage handling included in the US?
Only on escorted. Now, Rocky Mountaineer will bring your luggage to and from your hotel on that Red Rocks, uh, Rockies of the Red Rocks Classic. So they will handle your luggage because they transport you back to your hotel. And on our escorted tour, like the Colorado Rail experience, absolutely, there's baggage handling included. However, on say Empire Builder and East Glacier National Park, not included. You will be responsible for your own luggage. But I will say this, um, like for instance, when you get off the train, there is Glacier Park Lodge right before you. So you simply walk across the street from the station and you walk into your hotel. So it's not like you'll be schlepping your luggage all across Glacier National Park. And then indeed, when you're transferred from place to place, your luggage is in the cargo hold, so there's not a lot of toting stuff around on these anyway, even the independent tours. But yeah, you on the independent ones, you are responsible for your own luggage. Escorted, we will handle the luggage for you.
Okay, that's really great. That's all the time we have for questions, but if your question was not answered, and I know we do have a few of those, one of our rail specialists will receive your question and they will be in touch with you after the presentation to ensure that your question is answered and have a discussion with you should you have any others. To make a reservation, you can contact any of our rail specialists toll free at 877-929-7245. You can also book online at vacationsbyrail.com. So this concludes our presentation for today. We thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you have a really happy New Year and a great day.
Yeah, Happy New Year, everyone.